Who would you die for? Would you jump in front of a truck to save your son or daughter? Would you fight off a bear to save your mom or dad? Would you take a bullet for your best friend, husband, or wife? Would you give up your life rather than deny Jesus? Saying yes to any of these situations is a selfless, beautiful reflection of absolute love. Jesus did just this. He gave up his life and endured death for us all. Now let me ask you this. Who would you live for? To most people, this is probably an absolutely ridiculous question. Living is so much easier and better than dying, right? Sure, there are people who are mentally ill and struggle with life, but unfortunately, there are also people who are just too selfish to stay alive or live for their loved ones. Some see death as the easy way out, whether intentional or intentionally accidental. Believe me, I've been there. I've abused alcohol and counted sleeping pills. I have experienced times in my life when I thought, what's the point? This world is so far gone, what's the point of living? Life in itself is meaningless, and if my life is significant to God, then why don't I understand how or feel it? I've had it. I can't do this anymore. There were weeks that I would wake up every morning and say to myself, oh, bloody hell, I'm still here. But what kept me alive in my darkest hours? Of course God was involved, but on the surface I thought of the pain I would cause my mom and dad, my brother and my husband if I decided to kill myself. I knew there was no way that I could be that selfish. So you think that is the end of this message? Don't hurt your loved ones by intentionally killing yourself? You think this doesn't apply to you? Think again. Who are you thinking of when you pop those prescription pills to get high or dull the inner pain of living? Who are you thinking of when you get on that motorcycle drunk or drugged up? Who are you thinking of when you're snorting lines and shooting up? Who are you thinking of when you're texting and driving? Or who are you thinking of when you're downing that 7th shot of whiskey or taking that handful of sleeping pills? Who are you thinking of when you refuse to take care of your health? Are you thinking about your loved ones, your sons or your daughters? No, you're thinking about yourself and no one else. You may think it's selfish to be greedy with money, but I'll tell you this, it's equally selfish to put your addictions and despair ahead of your loved ones. Do you think it's heroic or noble to drink yourself to death? Is it somehow God's will if your heart stops beating when doing drugs? Is it simply a case of when your time's up, your time's up? If you refuse to take care of your high blood pressure, your diabetes, emphysema, or obesity, or any other life-threatening disease you may have, you may as well go right now and say to your son or daughter, or your mother or father, sorry, I just don't love you enough to make the extra effort to stay alive for you. I don't care enough about your well-being and happiness to care if I live for you. Or how about, well, Jesus, it's nice that you lived and died for my life here on earth and, my eternal life as well. But I think I'll make my own decisions on life and death, so you can keep your sacrifice for me. I don't need it. Now again, think about it. Who would you live for? Like it or not, in this world, our life is not our own. It first and foremost belongs to God and in doing God's work. Our life is also at the service of those around us. Sure, we have the final say in how we live our lives, whether we will follow God's perfect plan for our lives or stumble through life making our own decisions. This life is not always easy, and even godly people stumble at times and don't feel like going on. But we also know that grace is not an excuse to live a sloppy life. Even though we may not feel like living right, rather than drowning ourselves in our vices, drugs and alcohol and whatever else, we can still choose to do the right thing. We must fight for our lives every day, some of us more than others. The devil works overtime to destroy us and our families by any means necessary. Satan uses our weaknesses against us, especially our fears and addictions. So I beg you, if you are abusing drugs or alcohol, food, medications, or anything else that you know is jeopardizing your health, please take a closer look at your life and realize the pain you are causing yourself, your loved ones, and God. God looked at everything He has made and said, "It is good," including you. Don't intentionally, accidentally destroy yourself. Swallow your evil pride, fear, and selfishness. Get professional and spiritual help, if not for yourself, then for the sake of your loved ones and to honor the God who created you and loves you. Jesus lived and died for us to have an awesome life here on this earth as well as in the afterlife. Stop allowing Satan to demolish your future and the future of those who depend on you. There are no guarantees in this life of when your time is up on this earth, regardless of our own efforts. But to not take care of what God has made, our mind, body, and soul, is an insult and sin against God and also to those who love us. So please prayerfully meditate on this, and God bless, and I'll catch up with you next time.
What you gave me.